to Forfelliness belysning illumination from the ancestors, guiding your path today.
Every day, someone's little girl, daughter, sister, girlfriend, fiancé, wife, cousin, mother, auntie, grandmother, great-grandmother, elder, disappears, shattering a family, a community, the world. There is something we can all do. Remember them.
getting the many different perspectives. So the Rune of Isa is really all about perspectives, being able to change, being willing and able to alter our view, to bring in this different perspective and then process it in our normal thought processing way. So it's all about our perspective, what we're willing to look at. All right, I have to, real quick, as we mentioned today, we're really speaking about the Rune of Isa. Now, the Rune of Isa is simply a straight line, and Isa is all about the ice. And again, it provides for us this different perspective. So definitely worth checking out. In the meantime, I need to take a real quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about how we can apply our perspectives and how we can adjust our perspectives in our everyday life. So we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
The air. The time is now.
We're all waking up.
We're waking up.
We're all waking up.
It's all shifting.
New vibrations.
It's you.
It's you.
It's me. It's all of us.
Together.
A new time.
A new day.
A new energy.
A new energy.
A new reality.
Awaken with us.
Awaken with us.
Awaken with us.
NewRealityTV.com.
All right. Hey, welcome back, and thank you for taking that short, quick break with us. And I very much appreciate my friends and family at New Reality TV, NewRealityTV.com, of course, a streaming channel dedicated to spiritual perspectives. Do please check them out. And we also talked about Raven crossbows. And Raven crossbows, of course, providing us with those tools to feed our family and to actually get those targets as necessary, and certainly on target every time. So check them out, as well as many other affiliates that we have that support our show here at akumedia.akoutlaw.com/sponsors. Do check them out. Well, today here on Wootens Day, we were talking about the Rune of Isa, and we were talking about how the Rune of Isa represents the frozen, freezing things up, but again, as we mentioned earlier in the show, we have two different perspectives. We can either allow it to make our travels complicated and difficult because we're slipping and sliding and we can't get any traction, or we can lash on our ice skates and actually make a whole lot of headway very quickly. So it's really about the two different perspectives, not as much the travel as much as the perspectives themselves, in that we're willing to look past what our current situation is and to see opportunity that lies all around us. Now, many times we've spoken about how we seek joy, how we seek peace and happiness. And by actively seeking it, we're technically kind of almost driving it into our reality, into our interpretation of reality. So it's a very critical piece. The thing that we have to remember is when we're talking about our everyday life, our joy is simply a perspective change. If we allow depression and anger and sadness and frustration and those unwanted emotional states to influence us in such a way that it sways us, then we are indeed kind of surrendering to the fates, if you will. And so this is maybe this is your authority to say, wait, that's not what I want. I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I want to be harmonious. I want to be in good company. I want to be happy in my life, happy in my skin. Those things we actively seek. And so when we change our perspective and say, no, I'm not going to look at this stuff that's unwanted, I'm going to actively seek joy and peace and happiness and harmony. And when I do that, of course, lo and behold, it will introduce into our lives. Why? Because remember, we're setting, eventually through all the emotional turmoil that is going to occur within our thought process, this thought process will actually arrive in what we call our memories. And memories will then feed our imagination, right? So if our memories are saying joy, happiness, peace, love, harmony, that's going to feed forward into our sensory input. Our sensory input then is going to be photoshopped to a degree, right? So we're going to Photoshop out those things that don't meet our criteria, that aren't in support of what our state of mind is. So we're going to Photoshop them out. We're going to move those to the side, and we're going to focus on the things that support what our thought process is, right? So that's really what we're doing. Is we're not per se. I used to. There used to be a phrase that went around in our house about creating your own reality. How we can do that. How we can manifest that. How we do. We create our own reality. Well, I think we create our own interpretation of reality. So we see the world through rose-colored glasses or through dark shades. That choice as to which glasses we decide to put on is up to us. And we can choose regardless what's going on, regardless what the experiences are going around you. We can still have rose-colored glasses, or we can still, if it's all good and rainbows and sunshine, and we're still wearing dark sunglasses. Okay? And so we're dimming everything down. We're taking away some of that joy. So this is really the decision to choose your glasses at which to wear each and every day is completely up to us. So when people come to me and they say, Mark, I have this, I can't seem to find joy. And, you know, I'm really struggling with this, and it's been a long-term thing, blah, blah, blah. I tell them, it's like, okay, stop. What I want you to do is start actively training your brain to seek joy. How do you do that? Well, one of the exercises I recommend is to start each day and finding those things, identifying those things that bring you joy. We start off with a small list, 25, say. And from that list, we begin to train our brain. Again, now we're setting the gate, the me gate, that's going to allow that joy and allow imagination to come in to our sensory input and to identify those things that bring us joy. And originally, we'll start with 25 things in 90 minutes. And we'll expand upon that. And what we're doing is we're training the brain. We're training the imagination coming forward. We're training that imagination to isolate, identify those things that bring us joy and kind of highlight those as this experience gets processed through our thought process. Okay, so we're highlighting, if you will, that one thing that brings us joy, and then we're pushing that through, right? Our imagination's kind of moving everything else to the side so that we can clearly see whatever it is that brings us joy, and then we're going to allow that to come through. It's going to drop in. And of course, if it is something that truly brings us joy, it's going to resonate in the well of the self. It's going to pick up that energy. It's going to create the biochemistry. Biochemistry is going to push up. Horn of feeling is going to be controllable. Why? Because it's just something that's authentically us. We authentically recognize it as bringing us joy. And then it'll push to the me gate. The me gate will then feed the memories. The memories will then feed future imagination. So the cycle begins. So for you, for those of you who may be struggling with depression, maybe sadness, overwhelming, start by finding those things that bring you joy. Pick a number. Pick a number and begin to actively train your brain to find those things. Change your perspective. Alter the way you look at things. Be willing to see things differently. And my friends, you will find joy. Trust me. All right. I wish you the very best Wootens Day, and I hope that you will adhere and really recognize the perspectives of the Rune of Isa today. All right? My friends, I wish you the very best Wootens Day. Love and light, and may you have a wonderful day. We will see you again tonight for Sporgsmall. Love and light, my friends.